Bienvenidos a la presentación del verbo ser. Welcome to the presentation of the verb ser. Now, unlike in English, in Spanish there are two different verbs that we use to describe to be. For example, ser and estar. Today we'll be discussing the verb ser. If you ever need to know when to use ser, just think of doctor. We'll get to that in 1 second. Now, in English the verb to be conjugates the following way. I am, you are, he, she is, we are, y'all are, they are. In Spanish, we conjugate it the following way. Yo soy, tú eres, él es, ella es, usted es, nosotros somos, vosotras sois, ellos son, ellas son, ustedes son. I, you, he, she, you, sir, formal, used to express people in a professional setting, and or in Latin America, you use the usted with your elders as a sign of respect. Nosotros, we, as a group of people, it could be 465 men and 1 woman. Nosotras, all females in a big group. Vosotros y vosotras, this is the y'all. Now, I'm from South Carolina, so I use y'all all the time. Y'all are all from the West Coast, not all of you, but many of you from the West Coast or the Midwest, so you might not have ever used it. The same thing applies to vosotros, vosotras. Vosotros is used only in Spain. That's why this flag is here. The sois is something you should get used to if you ever want to travel to Spain and use Spanish in Spain. However, if you are primarily interested in Latin America, you will never need to know it. Okay? Ellos, they, ellas, they, ustedes, you all, y'all, formal. Okay? Son. Now, if you ever need to remember when to use ser, just think of doctor. Description, occupation, characteristics, time, origin, relationships. Descripción, ocupación, características, tiempo, origen, relación. Okay? There are many uses of the verb ser, but it is most often to describe characteristics or aspects of our lives that are considered more permanent. Things like, I'm a tall person. I'm always going to be a tall person. And I know that we all shrink when we get older, but if you've been tall, you're probably going to stay pretty tall. Occupation. I know you might change your career throughout your life, but the idea is that you're going to use ser because you're trying to work to be a doctor. You're going to try to be a doctor for a while. Okay, characteristics. These are physical characteristics or personality traits. Time. Now I know time seems very temporary, but think about it like this. Time is constant in that it is always passing. Origin, you're always going to be from where you're from, and relationships. Let's get into this further. Usos, descripción y características. We use the verb ser to describe essential characteristics of people or things. Things like the physical descriptions or descriptions of personality traits. Okay? If you're a nice person, you're generally going to be nice forever. Let's look at some examples. La estudiante es bonita. The student is pretty. El profesor es viejo. Professor is old. Las mexicanas son amables. The Mexican women are friendly. Los niños son malos. Those are bad kids. We also use it to describe profession or identity between a subject and the noun pronoun or profession it's describing. Okay? Let's look at these examples. Ella es una maestra. She is a teacher. Okay? Es un perro. It's a dog. Now this might be considered a description for you, but a dog's job is to be a dog. So it's under here as well. Nosotros somos médicos. We are doctors. We also use it to tell time. Okay? Now, you can use it to be plus the day, the date, the time, like the hour of the day, the month, the year, and the seasons. We're all going to use ser with every single aspect of telling time and the passing of time, which is something we can never stop. Hoy es lunes. Today is Monday. Son las 11:30. It's 11:30. Es 2018. It is 2018. Es verano. It's summer. When we discuss time, you can also think of it like due dates and deadlines refer to time, and they also use ser. Okay? Expiration dates use ser as well. So when you're discussing deadlines, you're going to use the noun first, then the verb ser, then para, which means for, and then the date that it is due and or due to expire. Okay? Here's some examples. La tarea es para mañana. The homework's due tomorrow. Los impuestos son para el 15 de abril. Taxes are due April 15th. La presentación es para el lunes. The presentation will be on Monday. Think about it as if you're literally translating it to the presentation is due on Monday. Okay? Now we also use ser to talk about origin or ownership. And this is considered material as well. The table is wood. La mesa es de madera. Well, that's the origin of the table. The table was originally a tree. It is wood. So there you go. Los carros son de María. The cars are Maria's. Ownership. These are her cars. They belong to her. And origin. Jorge es de Guatemala. Jorge is from Guatemala. George is Jorge in Español. And then, of course, relationships. Now we use ser plus of or from to express relationships between people, places, and things. Somos 5 en mi familia. There are 5 of us in my family. Katie and Christian are my siblings. Katie y Cristian son mis hermanos. Es mi casa. This is my house. It is my home. In real life, that's not my home. It's a clip art. The only exception that's a little weird and might seem contrary to the idea of ser as an idea of permanence is when we use ser to describe the date, time, place, or characteristics of an event. Now, what are some examples of events? It can be anything from a meeting to a sports game, wedding, a special occasion dinner, a party, a date, a movie premiere, anything. These are all events. And so we're going to be using ser plus the existence of temporary activities or events. Okay? Let's look at some examples. La reunión es en el café. The meeting is at the cafe. La boda es a las 7 de la tarde. The wedding is at 7 p.m. Here we have time and we have event. So it is ser. La fiesta de cumpleaños es en Chase. Surprise party or the birthday party is at Chase. That's a bar in Tucson for those of you who do not live in Tucson. Now, I'm going to give you a brief overview of how to tell time. When we're talking about time, we use ser as well. If you want to know the time, ask, ¿Qué hora es? Please repeat, ¿Qué hora es? Okay. Now, when you're telling time, you're going to say es la if you have 1 hour of the day, like 1 o'clock, or son las if you have more hours of the day. When you're telling time in Spanish, you're literally saying there are 2 hours of the afternoon. Son las 2 de la tarde, which means it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? De la mañana, sense of time is a little bit different in the Spanish-speaking world. You have the morning, which is the same. Then you have la tarde. Afternoon actually goes later till 8 or 9 p.m. depending on where you live or visit. And de la noche. Okay? Now, this clock can tell you exactly when to use each. If you're talking about 1 o'clock, that's the only time you're saying there is 1 hour of the day. Okay? And then depending on what time it is, you say the number of the minutes that have passed. Okay? So if it's 1:08, you would say es la 1:08. Es la 1:08. Okay? But if you have 1:20, then you would say es la 1:20. If it's 4:20, you would say son las 4:20. This is a very useful clock that tells you how to tell the time and how you can say the date. Okay, when you're discussing date, you say hoy es, today is, the day of the week, comma, el, number of the day, del mes, month, of the year. So it's always day, month, year. The United States is actually the only country in the entire world that has month, day, year. Every other country in the world uses day, month, year, which makes sense. Okay, here's some more examples. When you have 1 o'clock, it's es la. Now, when it's 15 minutes, you say quarter past, just like we do in English. Now, this is kind of an antiquated term for Americans. It's still used very much by the British, but you would say it's a quarter past 1. Okay, so this is what this means. Es la 1:15. It's 1:15. It's a quarter past 1. Half an hour is media. And once you get to half an hour, you actually jump forward to the next hour and you count backwards. So you're saying if it's 1:45, it is 15 till 2 or a quarter till 2. So here you're saying son las 2 menos cuarto. It is 2 o'clock minus 15 minutes or a quarter. Okay. Some more words you might need to know. Noon is mediodía and nighttime is noon. Midnight is medianoche. Let's take some seconds and pause this video, write down how to say each one of these hours, and then I will get back to telling you how to do it. Okay, 8 a.m. Okay, so we know that's 8 hours of the day. That's more than 1 hour. So we're going to use son las 8 de la, and then is it a.m.? Yep, mañana. Son las 8 de la mañana. Boom. 1 p.m. Now that's 1 hour, so it's singular. We're going to use es la 1 de la tarde. 4:30 a.m. Now, 4 is cuatro, 30 is media. 4, they're more than 1 hour, so son las 4:30 morning de la mañana. 9:45 p.m. Now that's past 30 minutes, so we're going to count backwards from 10. That's 15. That's 10 minus 15. 10 is so plural, so you say son las 10. Then you say minus, menos, cuarto de la noche. You can also say son las 10 menos 15 de la noche. It's just less said because cuarto is easier and more understood. 12 p.m. Noon. Es mediodía. Midnight. Es medianoche. 10:15. Son las 10:15 de la mañana. Y 10:50. That's 11 minus 10. Son las 11 menos 10 de la noche. I hope this was very helpful. Thank you. Good job. Keep up the good work.